Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Monday, November the 10th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
For nearly 60 years of his life, Jim Dennett didn't know that he had an uncle.
My dad never talked about the war, never talked about anything like that.
While he knew that his father William served for Canada in the First World War, Jim only found out in his retirement years that his uncle, Private Ernest Dennett, served alongside his dad. He only made the discovery while looking through old Toronto Star newspapers at a North York library.
In the area where they were showing people that had been shot in the war and were, and gassed and all that, and that was my father. And then on the same page came up a picture of my uncle.
William survived his wounds and was hospitalized back in Canada. But Jim learned that Ernest had suffered gunshot wounds to the head, arm, and thigh during the Battle of Sorel in April 1916 before succumbing to his wounds. Ernest was just 19 years old and was buried in a Belgium war cemetery. While his name was in the Book of Honors after the war, it did not appear on any cenotaphs, including in his hometowns.
I went to Owen Sound first and checked their cenotaph, and it wasn't on there. So then I went to Collingwood.
That prompted Jim to bring it to the attention of the Collingwood Museum and Legion in the late 2010s.
I took it and I ran with it, and I pretty much vetted that his name did not appear anywhere, and that's wrong. He needs to be remembered.
Collingwood's Legion, Museum, and Council then unanimously agreed to engrave Ernest's name on the town's cenotaph this past August. It was officially unveiled in September, 109 years after his death.
We hadn't added a name since 1923. That's when the cenotaph was initially unveiled. It was the interest to do and to connect and to learn and to do right by that soldier's huge sacrifice for our nation.
Feels great. They need the recognition, I think,
Jim is hoping to be in attendance for Collingwood's Remembrance Day ceremony next week, where the Padre will be giving Ernest a special mention. Mike Lang, CTV News, Collingwood.
Learning about the history and lives of fellow veterans is something Jocelyn Niven loves about Perley.
Some of the funniest, smartest, kindest people you will ever run into are residents here.
After serving 42 years with the Canadian Armed Forces, the avid volunteer says she was looking to build a connection, finding it here within the walls of Perley Health.
I can't just go down the hallway to get to a place anymore. There's too much stopping, to talk, to check, to the residents as well as to the staff. You couldn't pry me out of here now.
She is a veteran volunteer, one of the 70 retired servicemen and women who spend their days with the veterans who call Perley Health home. Retired Colonel Claude Chartrand, a 96-year-old Korean War veteran, says the role helps to build bridges across generations.
We all have our own life experience. That's one thing. And if you can share that experience with someone else, that's very important, because you learn by talking to other people. You get the feel of it and so on. You're not the only one in the world.
Niven says volunteers do everything from spending time with residents to helping them get to appointments, as well as palliative care support. Activities, too. One of her favorite days is helping with Wednesday art classes.
I don't feel like I'm giving back. I feel almost like I'm stealing.
The program is in connection with the True Patriot Love Foundation for the 130 veterans who live here.
Really touches my heart, because sometimes I can't reach a veteran, but when I put in a volunteer who served in the same branch, and they're like, it's great.
As Remembrance Day approaches, this Royal Canadian Navy veteran and resident appreciates that Perley works to keep the spirit of service and military alive.
For me, it means that there is a voice out in the public saying to Canadians, lest we forget.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
They stood on guard for Canada, but some in the Canadian forces are not sure where they stand when their time in the military is over.
We are very group-oriented in the military. We have a lot of close friends, a lot of close family. And when you leave that, you leave part of your family behind. So transitioning out and finding your next journey can be extremely difficult.
Andrew Mallison is an active member of the Royal Canadian Navy who also serves as Fanshawe College's military-connected career consultant. present. He was on hand as Ontario's Minister of Citizenship and Minister of Colleges announced $575,000 in funding to recognize skills veterans learned during service as college and university credits.
This initiative will expedite their studies, ensuring military-connected learners can join the workforce faster, supporting a smooth transition to civilian life and building a strong talent pool for Ontario.
We rightly recognize them for their service while they're in service, but we need to do a better job, all of us, on that, but also on recognizing their service for what they do here in Ontario when they come home.
With the funding, prior learning and assessment recognition projects have been launched at 6 colleges and universities across Ontario, including Fanshawe. Fanshawe will create a database of course equivalencies that recognize the prior training. It's no accident that the announcement was made here at Fanshawe, with this school having become the first ever military-connected college back in 2020, and that has resulted in a nearly 100% increase in military students. In fact, more than 400 study here now.
Fanshawe College is developing a reputation as a college that supports military-connected learners, their families as well, Brian. And so it provides a level of confidence that coming to Fanshawe is a wonderful career opportunity.
Every year, between 8,000 and 9,000 Canadian Armed Forces members are released from military service.
They know what to do. You give them the task and they accomplish it.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Don't toss out that old couch or mattress just yet, because the gang at Second Chance Workshop will gladly take it. Part used furniture store, part thrift shop, Second Chance has 2 main goals.
One is trying to save as much furniture that doesn't go to the dump site, and the second mission is working with people on social assistance and trying to find them a job.
The not-for-profit puts unemployed people to work on programs that focus on being employable and adapting to different environments. And the staff come from all over. They currently employ newcomers from Ukraine, India, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Congo, and Sierra Leone.
So we have a variety of people, different culture, and personally, I'm very proud of that.
A lot of newcomers shop here because they are looking for affordable items to furnish their first home in Canada. The deal they can get, much better than at one of the city's big furniture stores.
A mattress will cost them at least $2,000, and in $1,000 they can get the entire, I wouldn't say the fancy, but to get started, that's what they need.
Every item of used furniture is given some TLC, and mattresses are washed thoroughly before being put on the floor. On Monday, the provincial government spent over $160,000 on tools and repair work for the roof.
It was leaking at about 10 spots, and it was getting worse and worse.
It's a melting pot of different cultures, and everyone seems to like what they're doing.
Of course, that I can vouch on. Everybody is happy here. Whoever is working, everybody is happy.
Donations are gladly accepted by the happy crew. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
270 passing yards in the second half. Underneath and incomplete.
The Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawks defeating Guelph in the Ontario University semi-final 37-30, heading to the Yates Cup against Queens on Saturday. Laurier is focused on playing a full game.
We gave ourselves a little bit of room, but then it was definitely way too close for comfort at the end. But that's going to be the message this week. We've got a great Queens team coming in. We're going to have to play 4 quarters. And if we get up on them, we can't take our foot off the gas.
The Golden Hawks beat the Gales 47-32 back in early September. Another close game that Laurier hopes to avoid on Saturday.
We know it's going to be an outstanding game. They've got a really good quarterback in Alex Freakin, so we're going to have to be at our best.
The Golden Hawks received OUA recognition this week for their second undefeated regular season in a row. Receiver Ethan Jordan named the most valuable player, linebacker Jesse Wilkins outstanding stand-up defensive player, and Falls the David Tuffy Knight Award for Coach of the Year. the third time in a row.
But I always deflect and love to say that it's a Staff of the Year award. So we've got 20 staff members do a great job teaching up our student athletes. So it's great to get that recognition after an 8-0 season.
And while the team prepares to host the 117th Yates Cup, the school is in the midst of renovating its home field. A second set of grandstands won't be ready for Saturday's game, but will be finished by next season. And come this winter, a heated bubble will stretch over the field.
Our intramural programs from a field perspective kind of cease in the winter because we don't have a place to do that. So come this winter, not only will our student athletes, our football program, rugby, soccers, be able to have a world-class space to train in, our students will have a world-class space to be active.
At Rim Park, we're able to utilize that once a week, but when you have an indoor full field bubble on your campus, that presents so many more opportunities of 7 days a week training.
And while this side of the stands won't be ready for tomorrow's game, Laurier is expecting a pretty full crowd here at University Stadium. The Yates Cup kicks off at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Colton Weens, CTV News, Waterloo.
For more than a century now, it's been a celebration of country life in the city.
It's important for people to know where their food comes from.
The 103rd edition of the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair kicking off today. The annual event celebrating the best in farming, equestrian competitions, and local food.
It's sustained long because the people that are involved here with the Royal for 103 years. There has been institutional people, family, generations that have come here.
A chance to get up close with all sorts of animals, including Rosie, the miniature donkey, this year's ambassador.
Donkeys are really the unsung hero in agriculture, and it's really nice to see them kind of shine a spotlight in something where you don't see it come to every day at the fair.
Patrick Brown Anderson is a third-generation cattle farmer.
This is kind of the best of Canadian agriculture on show.
His family has been showcasing at the fair for more than 50 years.
It's really a journey that starts kind of all the way at the beginning of the year. But then when we get down here, there's a whole routine. It involves shampooing, washing, blow drying, hair trimming, kind of more products than I put into my hair or anybody else does. We put into the animals to make sure that they're looking their absolute best when it comes to the ring.
The Royal Horse Show is the centerpiece of the event, and it's the second year 15-year-old Sophia Poutier is competing.
It means a lot because it was my dream for a long time.
She is among more than 1,000 equestrian competitors vying for $1.2 million in prize money.
We have 8 countries competing in a World Cup title this coming Saturday. We have the Canadian Show Jumping Championships kicking off tonight.
There are thousands of animals to see and picture-worthy crops like these massive prize-winning pumpkins.
I'm amazed. I'm thrilled to see squash pumpkin so large.
The Royal Winter Fair draws more than 300,000 people to Exhibition Place every year. It runs until November 16th. Mike Walker, CTV News.
It can be tough to find a parking spot in Montreal, especially one that's actually available when you need it.
I'm sitting at my house with my roommate, and we're just discussing about our parking spot that we own and how we're paying these exorbitant rates for this parking spot, and we don't even own a car.
Benjamin Grenier is studying finance at Concordia. He was trying to come up with a business idea for a class project when he had a light bulb moment.
I wish there was a way to rent the spot out to the public, hassle-free, super simple.
From there, his own company, Pull-In Parking Stationnement, was born. It's a website that connects people who have a parking spot with those who need one.
Here's a spot that's available, $3 a day, which is unheard of in Montreal, just at the end there.
Those renting out their spot can add it to the site and set their own rate, hourly, daily, or monthly. Pull-In Parking provides suggested rates for the area. Each member is vetted and has to provide proof they own the spot.
As a renter of a spot, you're simply going to log in, sign up, put your credit card information in, and then you can rent the spot that day.
He says it's ideal for those looking for parking close to home, work, or school. It's also a way to bring in a little extra cash.
Life's expensive, and we can use all the money we can get. And this is just a great way to just make passive income from something you already own.
Pull-In Parking Stationnement has been up and running for 2 months, and already Grenier has an app on the way and big dreams to expand his platform to the rest of the province and beyond. Angela McKenzie, CTV News.
It wasn't your typical Friday boarding call, but one filled with gratitude, camaraderie, and the unmistakable pride of those who served.
My heart is full. I'm humbled. I am so appreciative. Every person, every individual that has gotten on board.
Dozens of veterans set sail from Windsor's riverfront for a special appreciation cruise organized by local veteran Natalie Burgoyne, who wanted to honor those who served Canada in uniform.
It fills my heart. This was the goal, for them to feel remembered, to feel seen, appreciated, and all of the people that have come up to me, or the phone calls that I've had leading up to today, just people actually, a few even in tears, to say what it's meant to them and how beautiful it's and meaningful it is to them.
Can't do any better than this.
Burgoyne says she was prepared to pay for the event herself, but several community partners stepped up, covering the cost of the 3-hour cruise, lunch, and refreshments.
I'm kind of overwhelmed that they go through all the trouble of doing this for us veterans, and I hope they do it again next year. I hope I'm still here next year, because I'm hitting 89.
This is fantastic. It's nice to have little things like this and not just the standard Remembrance Day ceremonies where we're standing around at the cenotaphs. This is a nice change of pace.
It's heartwarming. Happy to see them in happier times. Gratifying. It doesn't make up for what they had to do, God forbid.
Among those on hand, members of HMCS Hunter.
It's very respectful and very appreciative. I'm very happy to be a part of this.
For the veterans, it's less about the cruise and more about feeling remembered.
This is awesome. This is really good.
I think it's amazing. I think it's great to have like a bunch of veterans come together like this and to go on a cruise and just enjoy each other's company for the afternoon.
The free event is something Burgoyne hopes to make an annual tradition, giving Windsor-Essex veterans a chance to reconnect, reflect, and enjoy the view.
In Windsor, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
We know the lack of pet-friendly domestic violence shelters across the country is a barrier to leaving abusive situations.
November is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and across Canada, only 13% of women's shelters are able to accommodate pets.
It's over 60% of shelters at least have some form of pet sheltering. If not on site, it is the external partnership. I would say the majority, it's still the external partnership as opposed to having the internal. But this funding that Purina has been able to give us is definitely making a huge difference.
In 2024, Purina, along with WSC, launched the Purple Leash Project, supporting 20 shelters, keeping more than 320 women, children, and over 200 pets safe together.
The abuser is not just targeting you. They are often targeting or threatening to target children, family members, and that includes pets.
Chadwick Home in Wawa was one of the recipients this year.
We were able to have built a fenced-in area directly behind the garage on the shelter site. We retrofitted our storage room and turned it into a space where we put a couple of kennels, crates. In the shelter itself, we were able to really dedicate one room, one bedroom for now.
The 10-bed shelter is meant for people to stay up to 6 weeks, but Ross says due to the lack of affordable housing, many people are staying over a year.
Support local shelters in your areas and advocating for pet-friendly spaces. Those of us that have pets, we know they're part of the family. And when we stand together in the community, we show survivors that their support.
Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
It's time for us to recognize that Indigenous people did serve this country in uniform for many generations.
Bill Shedd is not shy about his admiration of service to Canada. The Peguis First Nation member was with the Royal Canadian Navy for 35 years. He says more Canadians need to recognize the contributions made by others like him. As Shedd looks around Friday's ceremony, he remembers the bond he had with his comrades despite being one of the only Indigenous sailors in his naval unit.
Today, you know that the guy next to you may not be your shipmate, but you know that he's gone through the same experience you did.
But Shedd is not the only Indigenous Manitoban to be recognized. In fact, Winnipeg was the first municipality to recognize November 8th in 1993 as a day to mark the contributions of Indigenous veterans. A year later, the federal government recognized that day. Shedd says that's key to bringing reconciliation forward.
It's the veterans, Indigenous veterans, who provide the link between Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people.
Renata McConce works as an advocate for Indigenous veterans like Shed. Her father, Joseph McConce, was a well-known First Nations veteran.
Memories, dear memories of our loved ones who are veterans. For me, my dad, I miss my dad very much, and he attended these every year.
McConce helped organize a powwow for the first time to commemorate November 8th. Everyone is encouraged on Saturday afternoon to come to Sergeant Tommy Prince Place. She says a better venue could not have been picked.
We really appreciate that space, and so it is very fitting that that is where our first inaugural powwow is going to take place.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Westland Arena was quiet on Friday, a stark contrast to what's coming later.
Just hours away from this building being jam-packed with people and just a high-energy, great show with PBR.
The event promises pyro, good music, and of course, some of the best bull riders in the country.
We're so fortunate to have this caliber of a professional bull riding event come to Yorkton. It is such a great production and high energy, and by ticket sales, people just love the thrilling adventure that bull riding brings.
The PBR organizers said the Gallagher Center is a first-rate venue, but the biggest challenge is what's outside.
The weather, well, it's always a bit of a challenge in Yorkton, but our team is working through it. We're almost ready.
The lineup is strong.
A bunch of ranked bucking bulls from 5 to 6 of our country's top firms bringing in their A-pen. It's a battle to find that champion bull rider, and it all kicks off tonight at 7.
But who rides these giant animals?
Actually, the top 1 and 2 bull riders in the nation right now, Jared Parsonage and Dakota Butter, are both Saskatchewan athletes, born and raised. So they're veterans of the game, and they've been at the top of the game for a lot of years.
The Yorkton PBR is the final stop for the 2025 PBR Canada season.
The goal for these bull riders is a national title. So the national champion will leave Edmonton, Alberta at Rogers Place in 1 week time with a $100,000 bonus.
After the rodeo ends, a barn dance will wrap the 2025 Harvest Showdown. Frugina de Kloot, CTV News, Yorkton.
When Sandra Crowick's kids were little, rakes rarely just raked.
If they could find a piece of wood or an old garden tool, it would turn into a lightsaber.
Well, she'll never forget seeing that first Star Wars for the first time.
And it sure did not disappoint.
Sandra always preferred wielding paintbrushes over lightsabers. But then her kids had kids, and Sandra got to experience a whole new set of Star Wars movies with her grandson, Remington.
Fun to sit and relax and watch the movies and see all the cool actions.
But even better, when recreating that action, is not having to resort to using old rakes. Remington got these lightsabers during a recent visit to the Star Wars attraction at Disneyland. Around the same time, someone suggested combining his passion with Sandra's painting.
That just sent my imagination wild.
And what she came up with couldn't be contained by a canvas. So Sandra set her sights on a basement wall and started sketching a substantial celebration of Star Wars.
Just crazy. Watch how she sits there for like 3 hours a day just painting and painting.
And like Yoda famously said, do or do not, there is not try. This duo did what they had to do to paint a portal into a galaxy far, far away that was as accurate as can be.
That's really good, Oma, but that stormtrooper wouldn't be wearing that helmet. And it's like, oh, okay, I can fix that.
And once every detail was right, on not just the old characters, but the new ones too, plus the beloved bots and those favorite flying ships, they decided it was done.
I stepped back and I looked, and it's just, wow.
And while seeing this 12-foot wide mural for the first time would make most of us say, wow, after spending 200 hours over 18 months creating it, this grandma and grandson feel grateful.
It was really fun.
Talking and hanging out and stuff, just good memories.
It's like finding the forces with you, always. Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Duncan.